dungeon. No. We put up some plastic in the garage. Our 4-year-old's having a birthday party in about a week, so just trying to she's trying to cover up the project here a little bit. It's kind of an eyesore, but thought I'd make a video on this project. This is the first one. I guess I should have started when I bought the car, but I just kind of started tearing it apart real fast, and there was really no, I was kind of only a few days that I actually worked on it, so it didn't seem like it's going that fast. It's really not, but there's quite a bit of progress I thought I would post up. This is a 92 C4 Corvette, bought from a guy in Iowa. I spent $2,200 on it, and as of right now, what I've done is I've actually sold the engine, transmission, and the car came with an extra target top. I don't know why. The other one seemed just fine. It didn't show any damage or anything. It's actually right there. That's the one that was on the car. There was one sitting back here. So I sold everything like that, recouped about $400. So I'm in the car for $1,800. The plan is right now to build a like low 10-second, like a 1010 car, or high 9 eventually. This is going to be the start of version 1. So it's probably going to be not quite there yet, but I'm doing this for about $7,500, and that is including the paint, as I've actually already started sanding down the hood a little bit. But this car is going to be completely painted. It's already stripped inside. It's getting repainted, color change. It's going to be a blue, actually, like a medium to dark blue metallic. But that's also included in the price. So it's getting all new carpet. I already have the heat shielding for the inside, sound deadener, and all that stuff. Yeah, so kind of good gist of the interior. It's going to have 8-point roll cage in it. I didn't want to do the full cage because this is going to be a street strip car, so the accessibility for it is kind of key, and I don't need the bars going up to the front. But right now, this is what I'm at. This is where I'm at. I'll kind of explain what I'm doing right now and the future plans. So right now, this is a aluminum block 5.3, came out of a Trailblazer. And oh, I forgot, I chose the LT1 car because this makes it a lot easier. I don't have to screw with the subframe in the front. I know from doing research that the L98, the small block Chevy style engine, the Gen 1 style, totally went to the LT1, the subframe is different. You have to like notch it and re-weld stuff to get the LS to sit in here. With these, all you need is like $25 swap mounts for a small block Chevy, and they fit. You can kind of see they sit flat down there, and they snug into the stock hockey puck style rubber mounts. But this is a 5.3 from a Trailblazer. The headers and the elbows and the turbos are all eBay China stuff. Right now I'm running these small, like 50 or 55 millimeter turbos. I'm going to be running low boost on this stuff, so I thought this would be something quick, and for running low boost, I'm not going to choke the engine and still make a decent amount of power. Obviously the radiator looks like it's going to have to be switched out. That's just kind of sitting here. That's where it is stock wise. So what I'm going to have to do, I think, is I'm going to have to get a smaller, thicker core one. That way I can bring it forward into the car, because it actually leans at an angle. Bring it forward into the car and either lay it down flatter to like flat, or stand it upright like the earlier ones were. And that'll create a lot more room in the front that I can actually run my intake piping to the turbos. But everything seems to fit right now. The only problem I have is the brake booster is a little large. It'll run into this pipe right here. I'm going to look for smaller ones and see if there's anything from GM that's smaller. Otherwise, it looks like there's a couple of companies that have a brake boost eliminator, and I don't know how they're exactly set up, but it's just a little square connector here, and then I would cut these lines, because obviously they're flared out too far, cut them almost right at the elbow, reflare them, and then pull and then put the pump back. That way it's not going to hit the headers, and that should be fine. I'm going to retain AC and hopefully heat in this car. AC for sure, because I'm going to be driving it in the summer, and it's going to be a street strip car, so I want it to have AC, especially if my wife wants to take it out or something like that too. I'm going to keep the AC. The AC evaporator box lid it's huge for what it is. It bumps out so far to there, and it actually will hit the headers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a hole in the side of it and create kind of like if you want it like a cup. So like the box is flat like this, and create a cup inside. That way, when I put it back on there, it'll have the indent where the pipe goes, and I'll make sure it's far enough away that the pipe is also heat shrunk, and there's heat shielding on the box as well. So that should be able to fit. I'll have to work on that at some time. But yeah, this is the setup. It'll have an F-body oil pan on it. This is the truck accessories. They fit, and hard to see down there, but they do in fact. The balancer and everything fits. I will have to check with the truck alternator and all that stuff that it fits, but it should. I'll be running 105 amp alt like I did in my F-body, and I was able to close the hood on that, and those are known to be pretty tight. So we'll see how that works. I've seen a couple of guys that have swapped them, and there was one guy that I saw that had the truck alternator on it. He did screw with the hood, but I think the reason he did is because he had the truck intake on it too. So we'll see if it fits. If it doesn't, I'll just relocate it. It's not that big of a deal. What else? I got an 80. It's behind the plastic that I'm being contained with. It's out of a 2003 Express van, running, driving. I think there was only like 140,000 on it, 130,000 on it. So I'm going to put part of the HD2 kit in that. That will fit in here. People do it all the time. There's no need to adjust the tunnel. I don't know if you ever know anything about these cars. The tunnels in these things are huge. I mean, there's no room on the passenger side. It's so large for such a narrow car. So that'll fit. I shouldn't have to do any modifications because everybody else that's done them, they've never had to do any modifications. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I won't be jumping on this for a little bit until after my oldest's party and I get everything situated here. It is so cold outside. The snow is actually blowing in. There's like 50-mile-an-hour winds right now, and it's a blizzard. We just got about 8 inches of snow yesterday and a little bit this morning, and it's ridiculous. So it's cold on this side of the garage for sure. But yeah, the intake on this is just a Speedmaster intake. I got the intake fuel rails, and what else did I order? Oh, and a fuel pressure regulator during the Black Friday sale. That was all brand new, shipped to my house for $260. So I got a pretty good deal on that. A couple of guys run these, and they seem to be all right. They have the early versions of these, like the performance products. I think the performance products is still a name underneath them. But the early ones, they had an issue with them sealing. You had to use a really good gasket, like a thick Felpro, like the 120,000s. And they actually seem to ship Felpro gaskets now, because I was going to have it on my buy list, and when I actually got it, I was looking, I'm like, these are Felpro gaskets. They look exactly the same as the other one, instead of that green, like waxy stuff they always used to send. When I had my 4.8 build, it was the same thing. They gave you like these green wax style gaskets, but they look to be Felpro style, or they're pretty thick too. So we'll see if it seals. If it doesn't, we can figure it out. But yeah, I'm gonna get a 102 millimeter intake, because that's what the size is on the intake for the throttle body. And the goal is to get all of this stuff situated in the front, push back, and then get the intercooler and stuff. I think what I'm going to do, if this is going to be too packed, I got quite a bit of room down there. If I push stuff back, I can cut that plastic, and I'll create a mount and a scoop for the intercooler, and I'll put fans underneath too, so that it'll get fresh air coming from the front of the car, and you can also push the heat to the bottom of the car with the fans on the intercooler. So there's quite a few ways I can do this, but just kind of setting this stuff in here just to see how it fits, and nothing is touching other than the box that I had to pull out and the brake booster, which is, I mean, for me, I consider it minimal. I do have some room up here too, which, I mean, if I really wanted to on each side, I could run separate intercooler cores. But what I wanted to do was actually run the piping for the turbos for the air inlets down here. That way they're kind of blocked away from the rain and all that stuff and the water, but they're still able to get cool air. So yeah, that's the update. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Oh, before I go, the rear end, some people are probably wondering, this has a Dana 36 in it. I'm putting a Dana 44 in it. They came in the manual cars from 85 to 96 in these cars, and 84 was the very first year of this body style, or this generation, I guess you could say, and they were all Dana 36s. They're good to about 400 wheel, 450 wheel, and then they'll start spitting out the ring on them. And the Dana 44s are strong enough to where typically what happens is the U-joints on the half shafts go. And if you get even heavy duty ones, it seems that those are still the failing point of the rear end is the U-joints on the half shafts. And then if the U-joints hold up, normally it's the half shafts, the stock ones themselves. So, and that's at about, people on the drag strip or on the track typically say about 700 wheel or 750 wheel, which this car will not make that. I'm not setting this car up to make 700 wheel. This is going to be a very light car. I'm hoping to get this thing down under 2,900 pounds, which would be nice. I think it's probably going to be there pretty easy because there's a lot of stuff. I mean, there's still a lot of shit I got to remove out of here, like ABS stuff. But there was a lot of shit in here I don't need. Even like the back sun cover, the carpet was heavy, and yeah. So we'll see what happens. The plan is to run this first, see what it does, and then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to upgrade the turbos for version 2 of this. We'll see what it does in version 1. It's probably, I'm hoping to maybe dip into 10 second or 11, but I think it's going to be GT35s. I'm going to put a ZR1 Corvette ZR1 cam, or yeah, the ZR1 cam in here. I know a lot of people say they make, I mean, it's proven they don't make a lot of power down low. But for it being such a light car and having twin turbo, especially with these, or not these, but the GT35 still being the smaller version of that, it should work pretty good and help breathe up top. I'm hoping that it should be good to do that. The exhaust is going through stock exhaust, so these will go down the bottom of the block. There's actually quite a bit of room to go right through the block, both sides. So it'll go right into the center muffler. This whole centerpiece is the center muffler, and then it's got 2 at the back. So the car is going to be completely stock looking on the outside. It's going to have ZR1 wheels, most likely. I think the front is 2 or 9.5. I think it's 9, somewhere around there. 9-inch in the front, and then the back is 11-inch. So the backs will be 315s, and the fronts will be 275, 285, somewhere around there. Not quite sure 100% on that yet, but that's kind of where I'm going towards. If I get a good deal on a set of like Dragstar wheels or something in that nature, I'll probably switch, as it's kind of, they're a little bit lighter, just a tad bit lighter. But the goal, I kind of want to make this look stock on the outside, to where if you had the hood down, driving it down the road, someone saw like, oh, hey, that's just a blue C4 Corvette. And then underneath the hood, obviously, you can tell it's not. Inside, you won't, because it's going to have racing seats, roll cage, and the ozite carpet. The ozite carpet, I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's basically, it's kind of like speaker box carpet, but thicker. They do have versions that are like that thick, but the stuff that I put in my Firebird when I built it is a thicker, plusher version, and then you normally put in your sound deadener / heat shielding, spray adhesive it in, lay that down, and then you same with the carpet. You spray adhesive, lay the carpet down, and you can actually stretch the carpet a little bit. So like in here, especially if you're going to go up over the lip, if you have any kind of contours, you can actually take a heat gun to it and start stretching a little bit. I actually did it on the Firebird, and it turned out really good. It's really light. The stuff with the Firebird there, my last Firebird, my 98, the whole entire car, it was shipped, and I think it was just over a pound. And that's how much the carpet weighed. And in here, it's probably going to be just a pound, because it is a little bit less car to do. So that's it. I'm going to probably be done with this for just a little bit, and then when winter starts calming down and it starts warming up a little bit, I want to get this thing out and get it sanded. I have a winch back there. I can actually roll the car out, sand it down, roll it back in, and all that stuff. So we're gonna paint it, and this is gonna be all pulled out since I'm just kind of fabbing this stuff in, figuring out where it's gonna go, pull all this stuff out, get the engine back together. Heads are just laid on there. I gotta put new springs and stuff in there and do that. So yeah, we'll see if we can get the goal of $7,500 for an entire rebuild on this car and see what it looks like. It'd be sweet to do that, you know, with the fresh paint and fresh interior and fresh LS and turbo. So we'll see how we do.